What's up? Welcome back. Today, we need to go ahead and finally get the insulation done. I've got everything buttoned up in the ceiling, so it's time to go ahead and actually blow the insulation in there. I'm super excited. We are going to insulate to a R value of 60, which is actually 24 inches of insulation. So this should be quite the interesting process. I'm going to set you up on a time lapse and we will see how things go. Hopefully nothing horrible happens and this is a pretty uneventful part of the video. I'll pick you back up after we get the insulation done. All right, super happy we got that done. That took what felt like forever. I cannot even begin to explain to you. I can't. I got nothing for you. It is obviously blowing. This is my first time ever using blow-in insulation. I'm sure I probably could have watched a YouTube video or I could have found something to explain it to me, but I went ahead and figured why not just send it. So it's blowing air everywhere the entire time, and I'm in a basically enclosed attic. I've got like a 20 by 20 access. So while it's blowing air everywhere, it's just recirculating that insulation back into your face or back all over everywhere. And it's so hard to get it to like stay exactly where you want it because I'm trying to get a nice, consistent, even playing field. And it's just, it was fun. Let's put it that way. It's really satisfying to watch it go up there, and I'm super excited to actually be able to keep all of the heat or air conditioning in that we're actually going to be using with this nice mini split behind me. I'm also super excited to finally have this done. Now, there are still a million things that we need to get done. I need to put trim up. I need to actually finish painting. I just got the majority of it on to keep going. There's a ton of other projects going on. But for today, we're gonna call this a wrap on the entire garage series. All right, so here's where I'm at. I've got a piece of dowel rod and I need to get these wetsuits off of the garage rack and onto the dowel rod. But I'm not a fan of the dowel rod just being all crazy in here. Let me see. Let me put you down. All right, so I'm not a fan of this dowel rod just kind of sticking out here in the middle of nowhere. I don't like that look. I think it looks tacky. It's not what I'm going for. So what I'm kind of starting to think, I got a bunch of crap down here that I need to clean up. That's what I need to do. But I'm thinking what I do is if I cut these at 45 and then I slam this puppy in the corner, it doesn't look super hideous and it'll still serve the function of allowing me to hang the wetsuits and all of the wet gear up over here. The only problem with that is I worry that if it's like soaking wet, that it'll end up on our wooden walls. But I suppose I could put some sort of plastic drip basin underneath here. So I think that's what we're gonna go with. We gotta figure out how to cut 45s on this piece of dowel rod so that they're exactly the same on the same plane, which can get tricky. I'll have to get creative and figure out how I'm gonna manage that one. But then our second task is going to be figuring out how to actually mount this on both walls so that way it actually holds the weight. Now, wetsuits aren't super heavy, but they're not the lightest thing in the world either. So it is going to have to bear some weight. That is why we can't just kind of tack it up there. So it's got to be nice and secure. So those are the issues. How we solve them, I am not sure, but we have to solve them. So one way or another, it's getting done. All right, there we have it. Everything nice and complete. Wetsuits hung up, place for many different swim trunks. All the skis over there, looking good. I need to still go ahead and get somewhere for the trick ski to sit. I have an idea on what I want to do, but I don't exactly know just yet. So we're going to hold off on that placement, and we'll get that once we figure out exactly where we want to put it. Until then, I think this is where we're going to end this one. If you've liked this content, please be sure to drop a like. And if there's something I missed, go ahead and leave a comment. And as always, if this is something you've enjoyed, please be sure to click that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one.